Today we're testing 6 methods for defeating body armor that are so simple it feels suspiciously illegal. And for this test I found the toughest body armor I could find, level 4 NIJ certified Hyperion body armor. Taking a look, it stopped that 5.56 no problem, but can it stop these 2 special rounds of ammunition? Well, for our 6-part test, we're gonna test the following. First, as mentioned, can we defeat it with these 2 special rounds of ammo? Next, could we just shoot it a lot in order to punch through? And then of course, can we just defeat it with 50 BMG? Fourth, we're gonna cover shooting the pelvic girdle. Fifth, buckshot. And our 6th method for defeating body armor, which I'm actually gonna save for the end. Now, the first of these 6 methods is supposedly special ammunition. This is an HEI round of 5.56, and this is an AP round of 30-06. First up, this blue round from Phoenix Rising Ammunition. That was quite a powerful flash, and spoiler alert, there's no pass-through on the backside, but I'm really curious to see what that front hit looks like because that's a much bigger bulge than our first round. Look at that, we stacked it on top of the other one and it still stopped it. So flashy, but not punching through. This might be a whole nother story. This is actually a round from World War II, and it's an AP round of 30-06. In theory, this is exactly what this type of body armor is rated to stop. It is the highest threat. But we're not gonna take their word for it. And for this shot, I have some professional help. This is the downside, 2 rounds from World War II. We got a primer hit, but nothing detonated. Oh, we popped it. So here we have the AP round of 30-06. We hit right here on this corner with a legal 2 inches away from the edge, and flipping it over, look what we got. We have penetration. And what's more, we're 2 inches away from the previous hit. So technically this is pushing the 2 inch limit, but it is totally legal and we punched straight through. So I guess that's a successful way to defeat body armor, although I really thought it was gonna stop it. It even says that it will.
This is Civilian Tactical from the future. As we're editing, I'm realizing why that armor-piercing round went through. We shot that from 25 feet, not the NIJ required 49 feet. So that round had a little bit of extra energy behind it, and so they can punch through if you don't do it to NIJ specification. But regardless, that's still some interesting science.
So next up, we need to spam fire a spot of this that hasn't been hit at all to see if multiple rounds will just punch through. And we're gonna do that with 5.56, which we know that it will stop multiple rounds stacked, which makes that plate great for threats like this. But what about threats that are less visible? Because recently I learned that my address, my family's address, their names, and our phone number were on the internet. The way this happens is they're actually actively sold and bought. And I'm not special. Apparently the amount of data breaches and identity theft is on the rise year over year. I'll tell you what I did to protect myself and my family in just a minute. I'm thinking we'll spam this corner with multiple rounds of 5.56 right here. So spamming this same area right here, looks like we did tear up the bottom of it. It didn't really punch through, but those rounds did start to kind of deflect and punched out the back. But unlike the armor piercing, they didn't punch through the jug, so there's no momentum to speak of. So it crunches up the plate really good, but it doesn't really give a good punch through out the other side. It just kind of tears the seam open. So I'd say spamming does not work. It takes too many rounds and is not very effective. All this wide open real estate over here is totally unshattered, and I think it will be perfect for a round of 50 BMG, way past what this thing is rated for. And the 50 BMG in question is the Big Kahuna Firearms Raptor 50, probably the most affordable 50 BMG that you could actually buy. Literally a beautiful hit in the dead center of the plate. Couldn't have asked for anything better or worse. And flipping it over, it looks like we got passed through right here. Very impressive, and this shows us exactly how this armor is constructed. You have these right here, which are thick, super durable and hard ceramic tiles that go on the front. And then on the inside, there's this woven backing. This foam spacer is the reason our AP round made it through. Because with this foam spacer on the edge, where we hit right in this corner is closer to 1.5 inches rather than 2. Definitely not supposed to stop 50 BMG. This was mostly showing how to defeat the body armor, but we're absolutely not done. So on to the final 3 methods for defeating the body armor. First up, pelvic girdle. But before that, here's how I stopped getting found online. That's incognito. They hunt for your personal data across search sites, including directories and commercial databases. And well, they remove it. This process is fully automated. And if that information repeatedly appears, incognito repeatedly removes it. The best part is if you you find something on a niche site that Incogni Systems didn't catch, you can manually request for it to get removed. You just submit the URL to their custom removal feature, and their team of experts will get it taken down for you. But let's get back to the pelvic girdle. Let me explain to you what it is. Pelvic girdle is just a nice way of saying your crotch area or your nether regions. Why? Because there's a lot of important blood vessels that flow through here. And typically you aren't wearing body armor over there. So let's say your attacker's A and C zone are covered up by body armor. This isn't. So you got a rifle like this, the SIG M400 Tread. You see that they're wearing body armor, and instead of aiming for that body armor, you go for the pelvic girdle. Clearly, this method is verified. Those are a bunch of very unpluggable holes. So next up for defeating body armor, we actually have Buckshot. But how the heck could Buckshot defeat body armor if it's clearly going to stop those small pellets? Well, the idea is actually spread. Here we have our drawn-on body armor. We'll simply shoot it, and every round that misses the body armor but hits the target is going to be a hit on your target. And we got a lot of hits because this is 15 pellet double-up buck, which I got from Phoenix Rising Ammunition. I'm super curious to see how many of these pellets are going to hit the target. This is actually going to be suppressed, so it should be a bit quieter. This is the Victor 12 from Yankee Hill on a Beretta A300. First, let's shoot straight for the center. At 15 yards, everything is going to get stopped by that body armor. But from a more reasonable 25 yards, we got a very successful 1, 2, 3, and 4 hits on target. Now, I hope these methods have been incredibly valuable information. The last method is going to be this right here. This is a flamethrower. Yes, a flamethrower. So if you feel like this video has been useful so far, make sure to hit that thumbs up and drop a comment. Literally, that's what makes these videos go viral. It's those two things. But before we fire this, there's actually a code from our sponsor Incogni, whose data removal process is verified by Deloitte. So you know it's legit, and the bad guys can't harm you if they can't find you. Use code CIVTAC for 60% off the annual plan with a link in the description and pinned comment. But now it's time to spray our body armor with the flamethrower. You simply spray the fire around the body armor, and I think it would neutralize your attacker. This may violate a few of the Geneva Conventions, but it definitely works. And it would not be comfortable at all. Thanks for watching, and subscribe for more.